What's up? What's happening? Welcome in to Hold My Banner. I'm your host, George Balekji, in for Travis Thomas. We got a packed show for you guys today. We keep going through our previews before the season. This is an exciting one for Ountae and myself, especially Tay, who's all over Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, we're going to take a look at the Spurs. He's got me with the win in 7. We're going to talk A'ja Wilson and the greatest WNBA season we've ever seen, in my opinion, as it continues, and she breaks a scoring record. And we get into plenty more. But let's bring in my boy Tay right off the top. Tay, how we doing today, my man? I like the blue.
I'm doing good, GB. Have you seen what Tatum's out there doing? He's writing books for children. He's on a press tour.
It's
and
great.
Last night he was rapping with Jimmy Fallon.
And then I saw that.
It made me want to talk about this. Look, the Celtics tweeted it out. Imagine if the Jays dropped a duo rap album. Tell us what the name of the album should be. George, do you know what you would name the album?
Hitting Jays.
Hidden Jays.
They hit Jays. And, there's double entendre there.
Yeah, I was thinking more of because like Jay-Z, JT, JB, the green print.
Oh, I like that. You go the green album, even if you go opposite of the black album too, but the blueprint to the green print.
Yeah. What do you like? Who do you think's a better rapper though? Like you saw JT rap, you saw JB rap. Who's a better rapper out of the two J's?
Jimmy Fallon. That's a third J. I mean, and JB did it and obviously had a better setup, studio, recordings, music video, but it was trash. And it's okay. Rapping's hard. The fact that Jimmy Fallon's better than both of them, because you know what? Jimmy Fallon knows how to read a prompter, and his delivery was better than both of them. Yeah. I thought both are terrible, given Jayson Tatum's was about his kid's book. I know I'm coming off the biggest jerk in the world right now. He's promoting a children's book and all that, but the rapping was bad. But at least Jayson Tatum has the out of it's funny. I'm doing it. I'm with Jimmy Fallon. I'm promoting a book. It's going to be bad. Who cares? JB rolled out on his winning tour of this summer after winning the NBA title, finals MVP, always wearing his finals hat, has that thing around his neck, all that, even after the snubs, which he didn't deserve. That was straight up bad. So, and it's okay because they are some of the best athletes in the world, and they both are top 25 players in the NBA as well. So it's okay for them to suck at rapping.
Yes.
I give more grace to Jayson Tatum because he wasn't serious. Meanwhile, I think Jaylen Brown was.
Yeah. I probably have a rap song floating out there, not on the internet. One of my
SoundCloud?
high school friends might have it. No, I don't even think it's on SoundCloud. So I know how hard it is to get on that in front of that microphone and rap, man. So I give a lot of grace to these two for being able to do it. I would agree. I think Tatum is probably just gets the grace and the nod on this one just because he's out there having fun, knowing that it's about a children's book. It's a weird prompt, right? Rapping about your children's book is it's just supposed to be funny. So I think he had fun with that. I love seeing Tatum out here and showing us more of his personality, smiling, having fun. It's great. So I'm gonna give Tatum the nod on this one because he didn't take it seriously and it landed, and the joke landed. JB's, he tried to take it a little bit more seriously, and I don't think I'm playing that one in the car.
Bro, I'm playing neither. When that one dropped, I was like, what are these lyrics? The one that you point out, I'm going to reach out to my Brentwood High sources to see if I can find that track that Tay's on. Look, can we pull up that image, though, one more time of Jayson Tatum with Jimmy Fallon on stage
I
from
got
the Celtics
you.
tweet?
I got you. Yeah.
You know what, though? I was watching it. Jayson Tatum, wicked fit. One color.
It was.
The olive green, baggy fit. He's 6'8", basically 7 foot. He could pull it off. So I got to go with that wicked.
I'm with you on that one. This isn't a wicked or kick it,
wicked.
But I'm with you. This was definitely wicked after I destroyed his last outfit in the last episode. This one's a lot better.
And I remember, too, you're talking about high school rapping. Of course I tried when I'd be drunk at a high school party, and it went terrible.
Yeah.
But everyone had that one rapper in high school. For us, it was this dude. His name was Devin. He went by Angel Dust. He was good. I don't know where he's at now. And if I had to project based off what I saw of his high school performances, probably not in a good spot, but I'm going to leave it at that. Tay, we'll bring you back in a moment, my man. So we were talking about the subjects and going through the East on the last Hold My Banner. And we were talking about Philly when we're going through seedings and power rankings and just how Tay and I do it, of course, talking the NBA. There has to be that conversation right now that the Philadelphia 76ers have the best big three in the NBA, but it's all based off potential. Let's start with Joel Embiid. which is the biggest X factor for their success and the biggest wild card. He's never played more than 70 games in a season in his career. He missed 43 games last regular season dealing with knee issues. When you're 7 foot, 280 pounds, and 30 years old, and coming off an Olympic run where he did not look in shape or right, but they still got gold and had his dominant performances, I'm still worried about Joel Embiid. You don't know what you'll get. My stance stays, and it will stay with the 76ers. If they are smart, the leadership on that team, and I'm talking leadership as front office, goes to Joel and says, the window is now with you. You're only going to play 50 games this regular season. We need to save you for that potential 16 to 28 game run when it comes to the playoffs and into the finals. Because altogether, you get them with that, you still have him just under 80 games. But this is a guy that can never make it the length. And it's been all throughout he's been in the NBA. But then people are going to go, well, if you're talking Joel, you got to talk Paul George. 74 games last season with the Clippers. First time playing more than 60 since his OKC days in 2018 to 2019. But what's more important about Paul George having that healthy run is how his game has evolved. His three-point attempts have gone up every season. He's almost at 8 a game, and he's coming off a career high in makes from 3. Paul George is one of the best two-way wings in the NBA, an elite defender because of his athleticism, and used to be an elite guy of a slasher to the rim. But he's changed his game to being on the perimeter. That's better for him. That's healthier for him. And he was able to do that because of the setup he had with the Clippers. But it's a similar setup with Embiid being with the 76ers. And then Tyrese Maxey, one of the best and fastest rising guards in the NBA as well. But that's why you look at this big three of an elite two-way wing, a top 3, top 5 player in the NBA, and then Tyrese Maxey, who is one of the best guards in the league as well. That's what you want. And think about the other big threes. The Knicks, they kind of have a big 4, but their big 3, Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, Mikal Bridges, that's really good, but not on the same level that the 76ers have. Go to Oklahoma City, SGA, third best player in the NBA, maybe 4th. Maybe you could say 5 and ahead of Embiid. But SGA, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, think about that too. But the inexperience is still there. And what do we get from Chet, who's good? The Celtics, I mean, they have Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown. It's a big 2. And some of the pieces they have of a Drew Holiday or a Kristaps Porzingis, or a Derek White as we see him continue to grow, those 3 other guys that last mentioned with the Celtics, they could be a big 3 piece on other teams. I don't want to hear about the Suns with Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker. KD and D Book are great, but they don't mesh. And Bradley Beal, I just don't know what you get with him. When you look at the landscape of the NBA and you look at the teams that the Celtics have to go through in the East, you have to pay attention and you have to give your respects to the 76ers, but only if they're healthy. Let's bring my boy Tay back in. I was texting him this morning. That's part of the stuff I think about, Ountae, when I'm like driving into work, of just going through the NBA and thinking about the factors of who's the best big 3, what's the landscape of the league looking like, where do the 76ers fit into all this, especially compared to the Celtics. It's a part of, and there is the if, anytime you want to talk about Philly, but looking at that big 3, Ountae, that big 3 is scary in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that big 3 is definitely very scary, bro. Here's the thing about the big 3 in Philadelphia. Can they stay healthy?
Right?
And that's what you talked about. 50 games for Embiid would be great, but I want to know from Joel Embiid, looking dead into this camera, I'm being dead serious right now. Joel, are you willing to sacrifice your personal accolades
He has
to win an NBA championship?
Mm-hmm.
Because we heard you whine and complain and moan about how you should be MVP and all this other stuff. And we also saw you cry. Real tears. It's a meme. I see it on television all the time. When you lost that Game 7 to Kawhi and the Toronto Raptors and that ball bounced on the rim. Do you still remember that moment? Because right now is your opportunity. Because if you can't get it done, honestly, with a Paul George who's still on the back half of his prime, but still in his prime, a young star, a rising star, and Tyrese Maxey, and yourself, hopefully healthy and ready to win this season, then it just can't be done. The process isn't complete, and it won't ever get complete, honestly. This is your best chance. This is your best chance. Lock in and get it done, man, because I'm tired of people saying, oh, the East. Honestly, I sat here and watched the Eastern Conference playoffs, and I was snoozing, falling asleep. It was boring.
We saw the champs run through it.
Because they were playing the Knicks and the Pacers. Mm-hmm. I mean, they didn't play the Knicks, but they were playing the Pacers and
beat a banged
the
up
Cavaliers.
Knicks. Yeah.
Like,
the
who
Heat
are
without
these teams?
Jimmy.
The teams that we know are good in the Eastern Conference that are supposed to be the actual contenders are the Bucks and the 76ers. Neither of those teams showed up, so the Eastern Conference playoffs were boring. Let's just be honest.
And I don't even want to hear it on the Bucks having a big three because Chris Middleton was that guy when they won their title. Chris Middleton with his knee issues and how he's just not consistently there. They got a big two. We'll see if we get a motivated Dame. But you hit the nail on the head, Tay. And that's why I say it has to come from the leadership and it has to come from the front office and going, we paid you. You won your NBA. You won your NBA MVP. We paid Paul George. Between the three of you guys with Tyrese and these extensions and these maxes we gave out, $145 million a year are going to you three.
Yep.
We need all three in the playoffs. I don't care about MVPs. We want a ring. And for Joel Embiid, you've won MVP.
Yep.
You've won an Olympic gold medal.
Yep.
Philly is one of those cities you are God if you win a title, especially for the 76ers, for a fan base that is so thirsty to be back just in that conversation, let alone on the top. That's where I want to see. And we spoke about it with DeMar, and I love what you pointed out about that too, Tay. If it's really about winning, and if it's really about being the best player you can be, Joel Embiid, and fans are going to hate this. The league's going to hate this. You punt on the regular season. They're going to have to do workarounds. Shoot, maybe they just pay fines. But he cannot make it to 60 games. No. I don't trust him to make it to 60. Let alone to get it through the regular season and the postseason. I want a competitive playoffs. I think the Celtics repeat because they weren't challenged at all last season.
Yep.
They got to be locked in again, and we'll see how bad they want it. But I want the best shot from the 76ers. And in an East that has the Knicks, the Sixers, and the Celtics, how they're built, and don't sleep on that Magic team with the additions they made, Tay, you need Embiid in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I got the C's to repeat as well. But I'm just a fan of basketball, just like everybody else who watches this show, like yourself.
The playoffs were boring, man.
Yeah, we just want
the West was great.
Right, the West was
East
fantastic.
was awful.
East was just a snooze fest, you know what I'm saying? But I had to stay up till 11 p.m., you know what I mean, just to start a Western Conference playoff game, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to have to stay up to 11 just to get a taste of good basketball. Give me a taste of good basketball at 7, 8 p.m. on our East Coast schedule like I've been asking for. So Embiid, please get healthy and be ready to play when it matters. All right, man. Let's talk about the Spurs. The Spurs are our next team in our NBA preview. We're previewing the Southwest Division right now. San Antonio Spurs. Obviously, Victor Wembanyama. I think he has the opportunity to become the greatest basketball player of all time. We'll see if he has the health and the mental attitude to be able to do so. George, how do you feel about the Spurs' upcoming season?
I wish when we talk about this Spurs team, Tay, that Rob Dillingham was still on this Spurs team.
Man.
Draft day, you and me were hyped. I was like, they got Dillingham? They got a great slashing guard, an NBA-ready guard, a guy that can lock in and finally perimeter dudes to play off of Wemby, and they dealt him up to T-Wolves, which I love that landing spot to make Minnesota better. But this is a team in the draft. They add Stephon Castle, tough, defensive first guard, was great for Dan Hurley in repeating as national champions, and a guy that had to work his way up to the spot that he's in at his talent level too, like transferring to UConn. Dan Hurley getting the most out of him. I love Stephon Castle's game, but the offensive piece is still leaving things to be desired. But signing a Chris Paul, signing a Harrison Barnes in free agency, the leadership is there to teach these guys. And that's why you bring CP3 in. And also, let's see what minutes he plays, of what role he is, because he can be there in the playoffs. I'm excited to see Wemby and the leap he makes, man. I like their offseason. That Dillingham trade, though, will forever haunt me of what are you doing? Because if you draft well, especially with that second apron coming down, and you don't land free agents, like the reason your headliner was Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes is because you are in San Antonio. Now, as Wemby grows and gets better, then that gravity will be to get guys to play there because they'll see how good he is and he can win and he can be the guy.
Yep.
I do like their offseason, though, because they vastly improved. And think about guys like Devin Vassell at that 2 spot, 6'5", 200, big guard, can shoot, averaged almost 20 a night. With more moving parts, but most importantly, there's more help for Wemby. I don't know if there's anyone else outside of Texas more excited about a 60-loss team than you and I. I like what they did this offseason, and I think it's going to be a big jump because when you watch Wemby, and I said it to you, Tay, when he lost in that gold medal game against USA, how pissed off he was, how he didn't want to hug anybody, he didn't want to medal, he didn't want to talk to anybody. Man, old school and us coming out, that's what I want to see from a kid that has that much God-given ability and talent, but it's that drive and that want. As we talk about how these guys get motivated and fueled, I'm excited to see how Wemby gets fueled. So I'm really excited about this Spurs team, and I think they do make a big jump, Tay.
Yeah, I think they make a big jump. How big of a jump? I'm not sure yet. I don't know. I think this is a play-in team. I don't know if I have them as a play-off team just yet because they have some things that they have to figure out, which is like, how are they going to fit in these young guys? I asked the same question with the Rockets with Reed Shepherd, but like, does Stephon Castle get minutes on this team? You know what I mean? Is Devin Vassell ready to take the next jump and not just be a guy who jacks shots and plays defense, which he's good. He's a good shooter. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Devin Vassell fan. I drafted him in fantasy his rookie year because I was that big of a fan of him as a basketball player. I think he's a good basketball player. But can he take that next step? We don't know yet. Keldon Johnson, he's been flying under the radar for so long because this team has been so bad. But 16 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists from last year, that's not enough. They need another guy who's going to be a guy for them. Wemby can't just carry an offense. He won't be able to do that. He's a great player, but a little bit to what Shaq said, he's a jump shooter. And with that, you know what I mean? Just like Steph Curry, you need other guys around, great jump shooters. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Steph Curry can't just win you games by himself. We saw that before. You know what I mean? No offense to my Steph Curry lovers. He's the greatest point guard of all time. He can't win a game by himself. Neither can Victor Wembanyama. He's going to put them in a lot of positions to win games, but they need a second guy who's going to be consistent. So I would love to see a Stephon Castle be built up because the Spurs aren't winning an NBA championship this year.
No.
That's the honest truth. You know what I mean? I would love to see a Harrison Ingram, a guy they also took in the draft this year, build up. He's probably going to spend more time in the San Antonio G League than, Stephon Castle will. But it's one of those things where their guards are loaded again. I mean, you got Trey Jones. You got a Hall of Famer Chris Paul. You got Devin Vassell. You got Malachi Branham, who played a lot of great minutes for this team last year. You know what I'm saying? Then you add Brandon Boston Jr., who they hope can be a good player for them, which is why they took a chance on signing him and adding him to this team. So you have a lot of potential there. Once again, a lot of potential with guys who could be great, who could be good for this team, but you need to figure out who is going to be that second guy next to Victor in the future, and it's not going to be Chris Paul.
I don't see anyone on this current roster, and that's why, I'm not saying Dillingham could have been that guy, but he can elevate a Vassell because of what Dillingham would bring, especially as a slasher, a guy that likes to go to the cup and go around the rim, and is an NBA-ready guard right now. Mm-hmm. But they need that too. But because of Wemby, that's why we put him in this conversation of playoffs and play-in. Yeah. I like that call of them being in the play-in. It's going to be a massive leap for them.
Yeah.
But when you have someone as special as Victor Wembanyama on both ends of the floor, especially defensively, how he's a straight-up shot eraser, not a blocker, eraser.
Yeah.
I just think he brings so much upside. And we know what the Spurs are. We know what Greg Popovich is. Like, guy comes in, basically, they're a G League extended team. Bring in, teach him how to play the game, ship him off. Look at Derek White. Look at some of the pieces that have been around the league, right?
Yeah.
Even Alani Walker at this part in his career, but I'm not going to put him and D. White in the same breath. I would like to see them build something with Wemby, though. Mm-hmm. It's just the uniqueness of the NBA of, I've never been to you ever been to a Spurs game? You spending your time in UTEP?
No. I've been to San Antonio a couple of times, but never been to a Spurs game.
We got to go to a Spurs game, bro. Just the fact that we're in San Antonio, Texas, the Alamo, and then wherever that building is, one of the worst arenas in the league, and they have one of the most talented players on the globe.
Yeah.
I just love it. This is why I love sport, Tay.
Yeah.
And what would make me love sport even more is this Spurs team being in the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay, so look, I have to ask you this because I would be remiss to not ask you this. Travis has Stephon Castle as his rookie of the year. That's who he's been rolling with. I could text him right now, and he's going to tell me the exact same thing. Stephon Castle is his guy. Mm-hmm. Do you think Stephon has a path to becoming the rookie of the year in the NBA this year?
I think the scoring has to be there when I want to think about who the rookie of the year is going to be, and the minutes. And that's why I keep going to that Dalton Connect. We spoke about it with Reed Shepherd. It's like, where are his minutes going to come from? Where are his shots going to come from? Don't connect is a guy on both ends of the floor, big, physical, strong, but has to play now for your Lakers because they didn't get DeMar because their best player decided to go and take the max money he can and just blow up them actually building out a team. I think because of the usage, I think because of the role, and I think because of scoring and opportunities will be there. It's tough, and you keep floating them my way. I just don't see anything outside of Dalton Connect. Because I need to see that actual likelihood of Castle. But he's not a number 2 or 3 on this team, scoring wise at least. He could play important minutes. I mean, he could be like all rookie defensive, but I don't see him being all like a rookie of the year.
Yeah, I know. They should have an award for that. He might, be first team, all rookie team, but I probably don't see him winning rookie of the year now, especially because Chris Paul is here. Trey Jones has to play because he's such a good guard. He takes care of the basketball, a lot like his brother. You know what I mean? Terrible defensively, but really good at commanding an offense. I did want to ask you this too. Now, this is a hypothetical, right?
Well, I love talking to hypotheticals.
If the Spurs were somehow to miraculously end up being a top 4 team in the West this year, will Victor Wembanyama win MVP?
Yes. Let's think about – I can't picture – when you say top 4, I'm just picturing 4.
Yeah.
But let's seed the West real quick. OKC is the 1 seed. I think you and I are lock and step with that. We see the T-Wolves taking a leap and also the Nuggets falling off. I think Minnesota could be that 2.
Yep.
Mavericks as a 3. They got better. We'll see what Luka gets. Him and Kyrie. A good, young, talented team that got that playoff experience, like a jump in Derek Lively.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the Clippers. Maybe the Suns as a 3. But if you have Victor Wembanyama, and the Nuggets could be that 3, but I hate how that roster keeps going. But that's exactly it. Like, if they're the 4 seed, let's just think about who they're in front of.
Yep.
Jokic, Booker, KD, Warriors, Kings.
Yep.
If they're the 4 seed, and the only way they get to being beyond a play, I think we could say if they're a 6 seed or better, does he get MVP? But that top 4 seed of what it says, I think he'd be MVP because it's going to be on the back of Wemby and his impact on the floor, right?
Yeah, no, I think I'm right there with you. It's just kind of crazy to think about, like, if he were to do that, like, the world would be on fire. I think, like, the amount of Wemby clips that we would have on Twitter, I don't even think I'd be able to find any other topics to talk about because he'd be the only one, you know what I'm saying? So I'm right there with you. He's a special player, and if he gets the opportunity to be a winning player in this league, because he was already, people were talking about him for Defensive Player of the Year, which I think he should have won.
I think he should have too.
They only won 22 games, and he was I thought he should have been Defensive Player of the Year. So if you tack on winning to the resume that he's already kind of built up throughout his rookie season, man, and you only expect him to get better, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, he averaged like 20
You're projecting. By putting this hypothetical, and I agree.
Right. Like, he averaged 21 and 11 last year. You know what I mean? So it's like, I only expect him to average at least 25 next year. You know what I mean? Like, it could be kind of scary. The last thing I did want to ask you about what this Spurs team is, too, like, will Harrison Barnes and CP3 as the new vets of this team actually make a difference in winning for these young guys?
Right now?
Yes.
This season?
This season.
I think they make a difference now. I think their impact's going to be more beneficial next season, 2 seasons from now, because that's the guys you get in to show them how to be a pro, to be that vet. And kudos to them for saying, fine, I'll take a paycheck. I'll go to San Antonio. I'll take on that veteran role, going from a guy in Harrison Barnes that is a key piece and a big piece for the Warriors, and even a guy like Chris Paul everywhere he's been of going, I'll be around greatness. And I think that's Chris Paul loves ball. Yeah. He loves the sport. He loves the league. He loves pouring himself into the younger guys. So it's a reflection of the leaders they are. Like, credit to them. How can I say they wouldn't affect winning right now? And it's beyond what they do on the floor, literally in measurable stats, but how they can elevate a guy like a Vassell, and how Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul can elevate guys like a Stephon Castle, and just being around Wemby, you know?
Yeah. I agree. I think the biggest part about those two coming in is that they understand defensive positioning, right? When you look at the Spurs roster, they do have some good on-ball defenders, guys who are good athletes, who slide their feet well and all that type of stuff. Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Shohan, obviously Wemby. Those are 4 guys that are probably going to get either a lot of minutes or be starting for this Spurs team that can really be good on-ball defenders. Where they lack is defensive positioning. And that's where Chris Paul in practice is tugging guys' jerseys. That's where Harrison Barnes is talking to guys on the sideline in game. Hey, like, you need to be 2 steps over here. Hey, you need to be 1 step over here. Hey, you need to be talking here, telling me what you're thinking here, da-da-da-da-da. These 2 guys can really help in those aspects of the game, the nuance that people don't see on TV. You know what I mean? That's where, like you said, 2-3 years from now, these guys are going to remember, like, oh, yeah, HB told me I got to be 2 slides to the left on this when this happens. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, Chris Paul told me when this screen comes, I got to get low and do this to get through it. Blah, 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 whatever. You know what I mean? Those things where it's like defense is a physical thing for sure. It's a want-to, physical, got to be strong, got to be fast to be a great defender. No question about that. But it's also as much of a mental game as offense is, honestly. You have to be able to understand what the offense wants to do, what guys like, and how to take it away. And those 2 dudes understand that at a high level.
To take away options, to take away what the opponent is seeing is so important. And you pointed out, and that's again of like what they will do will be immeasurable, and we won't know it, but they will.
Yeah.
You said it. It's in practice, and we see it on national TV.
Yep.
When we see Vassell or Stephon Castle being in the right spot at the right time, or just knowing how to counter some of the offensive sets they're facing and screens, and how they're being put in or attempted to be put in these mismatches, but knows how to get out of trouble and get a defensive stop. It'll be credit to those 2. So that's why I think it's important. Like, I like this free agency signings. They need that number 2, but it's about the long term with Victor Wembanyama. I think that's what's so important with this team. So I think it'll impact this team now. I'm excited 2, 3, 4 years from now. And shoot, man, when Wemby gets to the mountaintop, the credit that Chris Paul will get and Harrison Barnes will get, and you put guys like that around Greg Popovich too and his staff. Like, what more can you want for Wemby? And I'm excited for a guy like Stephon Castle to be there because, again, that's how he gets elevated. And that's how you even get ahead of schedule with Stephon Castle, where he's ready to play now defensively and as a point guard, as a ball handler.
Yep.
But offensively needs to bring more, and those guys will bring it out of him.
100%. I'm with you. And I love that you said when Wemby gets there, because I got a feeling that he's going to be up there at least a couple of times in his career.
I like doing that now. Because when we speak about these guys, you have to project.
Yeah.
You know, and I get the if, but you have those special players.
Yep.
There are those special people. Not if, but when. Wemby is one of those guys.
100%. All right. Another game. Time for winning 7. George.
I'm 2-0, baby.
You're 2-0.
My performance last week. Woo.
You and Travis's favorite game. All right. So this is where you get 7 questions. And on the 7th question, if you don't have the guy right, the correct guess, you get a silhouette, and then you get a final guess after that.
Okay.
George, how do you want to start it?
So I'm going to run back my questions from last week because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Current or retired NBA player?
This is a current player. This is a current NBA player.
NBA championships?
NBA championships. This guy has 0.
0. Ooh, that's not good. Where did they play in college?
This guy played, I'll tell you the conference. I'll give you that. I always tell you I'll give you the conference.
Bro, are you ever going to give me the school?
No.
Come on. If you played at Kentucky, you could give me Kentucky.
He played it in the SEC.
Whew. Okay. What conference is he currently in? In the NBA, currently in?
Currently in the Eastern Conference. That was question number 4, I believe.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Take your time. Take your time.
All pro? How many all pros?
This guy was all NBA. Let's see. How many times? 0 times. 0 time all NBA guy.
SEC 0 time all pro.
Yeah.
I hate that draft question. The JB one, I got lucky. But if I go all-stars, because if he's an all... But you know what? No, forget it. What year was he drafted?
Year he was drafted would be 2017.
2017, year after JB. Played
and look, and I'll even give you this. 2017 draft, and he was a lottery pick.
Oh, all right. But you won't give me the college. I see how it is, bro.
Yeah.
So when I go position, I appreciate you saying he was a wing when we were talking about Jaylen Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So position, forward, wing, point guard.
Yes, this is definitely a forward. He's definitely a front court type of guy.
All right, so he's currently playing, never won a ring.
Question number 7, by the way.
2017 draft, a forward that was drafted in 2017, playing in the East, drafted out of the SEC.
Yeah, would you like
Lottery
your silhouette
pick.
before you take a guess?
I need it on this one.
Okay.
I'm not going to get
Can we get the silhouette, please? Thank you.
Oh, crap, where did it go? Bam Adebayo. No, Bam has an All-Pro. Does Bam have an All-Pro? That looks like Bam Adebayo. Give me Bam Adebayo.
You're correct, George.
Woo!
It's Bam. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
He does it.
He's never been All-Pro.
He has all defensive teams.
Yeah.
No all NBAs.
Where did Bam go to college?
Kentucky.
There we go. Yeah, right. And I was like, if you played at Kentucky,
which is
why
I'm like, I can't give you Kentucky because Kentucky 2017 draft, that's a little too much, man.
You know what? The silhouette gave it. That silhouette was that assist that I need.
Yeah.
All right, man.
See, and you guys always complain about the silhouette. I
it helped me the last two. JB with the beard and the braids.
Yes.
And then for Bam, I was just like, that looks like Bam.
And you always know I always have to be topical with these. And the reason that I brought up this guy,
my man, I like this,
is because his quote unquote baby girlfriend,
is this confirmed?
Asia Wilson.
Is this confirmed?
Hey, man, all I know is Asia Wilson broke the record for WNBA single season scoring record, of course. But look, it's kind of, I don't know if you scoured through Twitter like how I scoured through Twitter, right? But it was funny because the Aces put out a tweet congratulating Asia, and they said, "Bam."
They know what they're doing.
And then they said, she won the scoring title, whatever.
They know what they're doing.
She quote tweeted that with the dude that's like, ha ha ha. And then he gets all serious, with the side eye.
Yeah. Like getting in the car, right, or something.
Yeah. And then after that, Bam tweeted out unanimous with an apostrophe between the U and the N.
Confirm it. So it's confirmed.
It's confirmed at this point.
They were spotted in Paris.
Yep.
Credit to both of them. Good for Bam, man. He's landing the best player.
Great for Bam
in the league. This is great for Bam.
Great for Bam.
Good for Asia. And Bam's a good player. But Bam outkicked his coverage in a way. Good for him. Good for Asia Wilson, bro. She's about third MVP she's about to win.
Yep.
Bro, 956 points. And here's the thing, Tay. I love when I saw 956, I go, does she get to 1,000 in the season? They got 4 games left.
Yeah.
She could get that in 2. She could get that 1 game. She's going to get this in 2 or 3 games. First 1,000-point score in the history of the WNBA. And breaking a record that Joel Lloyd set last season. It shows where the league's at. Mm-hmm. Asia Wilson is so special, so good.
Yeah, so I
love the tea leaves we're getting, bro.
Yeah, so look for our visual audience. I got the the tweets up here on the side. So watch over the next couple of minutes, and you'll see it scrolling through. But
Bam!
George, you see it says bam.
There it is.
It says bam. You know what I'm saying? So
and then Bam with the emoji, so they're making sure Bam is by itself.
Yep.
Credit to the social media. Credit to the admin of the Aces.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, seriously though, congratulations to Asia. She's such a great player. I've been a huge fan of her since South Carolina. She's just been so dominant, and I'm so glad to see that it actually translated to the WNBA, because we've seen it before where players are dominant in college basketball, but not so much in the W. That's not the case with Asia. Bro. She's great. She has a chance to be the GOAT when she walks away from this game, which, like you said, I think this is probably the best WNBA season put together. She has to go and finish and win one, which the Aces are struggling this year. That's the honest truth. They're in the 4th seed, which is uncharacteristic for a team that has so many stars on it. But, you know what I mean? If they can get back to that mountaintop, this probably will be the greatest WNBA season of all time. And I think she has more. Honestly, I was sitting there watching that game against the Fever. She was 11 for 28, 27 points. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's not Asia. She could be better. And it was a great game. She was fantastic.
And she's only 27?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She's so young, played so well in college. Dude, she's gonna get 1,000 points. 3rd player in WNBA history to average 20 and 10.
Yep.
Highest point
28.
per game. Yeah, well, just going off that metric, straight up 20 and 10 on the floor of that 20.
Yeah.
Highest point per game ever in the WNBA.
No, I'm saying she's 28 years old.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. She's only 28, so she's in her prime or entering it. Second in rebounding this season, second in steals, first in blocks, second in defensive rating, anyone that's played more than 800 minutes, first in offensive rating, anyone that's played more than 800 minutes, first in win shares as well.
Yeah.
And then we see what she does on the floor. I think it's the greatest season we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And Tay, let me tap into Fresno State, UTEP Ountae. Say you're in the barbershop, right? You're getting a fade. Let's say you're back in LA, but in your college playing days.
Yep.
And someone's talking ball, and we're talking everything that's important. End of the day, the most important thing about basketball is taking that ball and putting it in the cup. She's doing it better than anyone right now, bro.
She is. And the thing about it is that everyone knows it too. She can't be stopped. She comes in with her little fit on that's literally just like a tank top and sweats. And now she's putting on some nicer clothes, but she shows that she's locked in and she's really good at doing her dang job.
You know what I always say, bro? When we clown on Wicked and Kick It, and like some of these fits are terrible, and like NFL, whatever it is, I love the simplicity, and again, showing up for business. She went white tee, gray sweats, not caring.
Yeah, it's the same thing that I loved about seeing Ant do it during the playoffs.
Bro,
he did the same thing.
Just roll up white tee, bomber jacket, jeans, black pants, whatever you want to do. Good pair of dunks. You don't got to go with this crazy oversized BS we see Jordan Clarkson doing. I love simplicity. I love simplicity for the stars. And someone like Asia Wilson. Trav and I always say it, like it boils down to some of these athletes. Are you professional? Are you not? Asia Wilson's the epitome of a professional because when things aren't going how they should, she goes, I'm not doing distractions. I'm making my world smaller. I'm making my world smaller by having less decisions to make. White tee, sweats, show up, get buckets. I love this season from Asia Wilson. Aces Liberty, WNBA Finals. You think that's how it shakes out, or is it fever?
No. My son. Come on. My son,
that's what
my Connecticut
son, CT son,
are getting to the WNBA Finals this year. You can book it. But I do want to ask you about this. We say that's the greatest WNBA season that we've seen, obviously, from Asia Wilson. Is this the best WNBA rookie year out of Caitlin Clark, who's now 5 assists away from breaking the record for assists in the season in the WNBA?
How do we not when she's top 10 in scoring, and she's always been someone that can set up her teammates for buckets, going back to her Iowa days. She got back from the Olympic game. I think she got faster where she just got free and just playing more freely.
Yeah.
Dude, the Fever were dead. Like, as a franchise, that entire team was dead.
Yep.
When was the last time in the playoffs? 2015?
Yeah, like a while ago. Yeah,
and they
100%.
locked in a playoff spot 2 weeks ago. And they were picking number 1 overall for a reason.
Yeah.
And she's not even the leading scorer on her team. She's playing selfless basketball. She's about to set the single season assist record.
Yeah.
She has the record already set career-wise for 20.12 assist games.
Yep.
Bro, yeah, we're seeing the greatest season for a player. We're seeing the best rookie season too.
We
You're gonna
have
go
something
Candace
to get
Parker,
to.
MVP rookie of the year.
And pregnant.
Oh.
100%. I'm giving it. We talked about a CP3
So you're going
earlier.
greatest season, or you're going greatest rookie
CP3.
season?
Rookie. She was rookie of the year.
Yeah.
MVP,
And won MVP.
And pregnant to finish the season.
How can you not? Yeah.
Come on, bro.
All right, bet. Yep.
So, but Cece's great. She's number 2 for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess it's nitpicking. It's one of those things where, like, what do you like? You know what I mean? LeBron or Jordan? Both. They're great. You know what I mean? And I'm just enjoying greatness. But yeah, CP3. The real CP3. No, I'm joking. They're both CP3. It gets the nod for me.
I know when you make your face of like, let me go through and let me go with the counter for Tay, and I knew it. Candace Parker coming MVP.
Yep.
But you're right, bro. Come on.
Pregnant.
Come on.
Pregnant is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Switch us over, George. What are we talking about next?
Man, I'm excited for this one. So Legion Hoops put out a post. Who are the best active NBA players without a ring? And first off, let's look. If you guys don't see the graphic because you're not watching on YouTube, but you're listening in your car. Team 1 is Damian Lillard, James Harden, Jimmy Butler, Paul George, Bam Adebayo. Team 2, Russell Westbrook, Devin Booker, DeMar DeRozan, Brendan Ingram, Joel Embiid. First off, let's go. Team 1, Team 2. Who you taking in this one, Tay?
I think we both know that we're both taking Team 1.
Yeah.
Prime, now, it doesn't matter. That team is way better.
You could say that Prime Team 2 has the best player in Joel.
Yes.
But right now, and prime,
maybe.
Dame, Jimmy, Paul George, Bam, and Jimmy Harden too.
Yeah.
But the redundancy of Team 2 even, but yeah, I'm going Team 1.
Can you stop calling that man Jimmy Harden?
I will not call him Jimmy until he shows up for a big game.
Oh,
multiple times. We'll see what he does. Anyhow, let's draft too.
Yeah.
So you got your dice?
Yep, I got the dice right here. You know,
so what are you gonna do with your dice? This is so LA.
So,
What's the dice?
So I'm gonna shake the dice around in the cup, and then I'm gonna let you choose even or odds, and then whatever it lands on, you get to pick if you want to pick first or pick second. How are we doing this draft, by the way?
So we'll snake it in a way of it'll go whoever has first pick, then second pick goes 2, 3, then there we go 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
Okay, sounds good.
We got it. You want to take them now? Are we drafting now or prime?
Prime, right?
Let's go prime.
Okay, prime. All right, cool. Let's do that. All right, shaking up my dice.
Evens. Evens.
Okay, I'm not looking. That's a 5. That is.
All right, you
5.
got one.
That's a 5. Yep.
And they're prime.
So you want me to take the first pick?
Yeah.
Prime.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like I should take the guy that I think you think is the best in their prime out of this list. And with that, I guess, I'm going to take the biggest guy on the list.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Joel Embiid.
Yep.
Because
right pick.
I don't know if I think he's the best player out of this group of people in their prime, but I know you think James Harden sucks. So with that, I'm going to hope that you don't take him and I can get him at the 4 spot. Bad DMing, telling you what I'm thinking, but I'm taking Joel Embiid with the first pick.
Well, also the quest of this is these guys don't have a ring. I want to get them a ring, right? Give me the guy that shows up in big spots. None of them have a ring.
Yeah.
My 2 pick in their prime, I'm going Russ. 3 pick, I'm going Paul George.
Russ and Paul. Okay. And PG. Okay. I like that. I'm going to take with the 4th pick in this draft. Man, you made it super simple. I already told you who I'm going to take. I'm going to take James Harden because he's probably the best player in his prime on this list. I mean, when you talk about a system, he took a Dwight Howard that was old and almost out of the league at that point because of his stint with the Lakers and made him win games with a new head coach and Kevin McHale and a system that people didn't believe in. Mm-hmm. And man, was he great when he was a Houston Rocket. So I got to take James Harden.
So with Russ and Paul George, got 2 good way players, good leaders.
Yep.
I don't even know if this guy's in his prime yet. Oh, or I could go with the vet. I'm going to go Devin Booker. I got Westbrook, PG, D-Book.
D-Book. Okay, I like that.
I'm going to be a smart GM and a seasoned GM. I'm not going to tell you who I was thinking, but you could probably pick up who I was thinking.
Yeah, I like Book there. PG's gone, Westbrook's gone, Book, Harden. All right. Man, prime. This is tough because I really like one of these guys. I think I gotta go Jimmy Butler here, right?
All right. I like that pick.
I got to, right? Like that makes sense. All right. I'm gonna take him and put him at the 3.
I'm going DeMar.
Yeah. I'm
looking at my team, how it's built out too, so that's why I go DeMar.
Yeah, and you're gonna put the PG at the 4.
Yep.
Which is like, all right, DeMar. Okay. So I just kept sliding PG down the list. I crossed his name out like 3 times now already. All right, so I'm going to take a guy that I actually am a huge fan of. I think he's a great NBA player. He never really had the opportunity to win because he's never really had a winning team around him besides the fact when he was young and he had LaMarcus Aldridge. I need Damian Lillard. I
love
think
that pick.
That he's going to be a great fit for my team.
You said it. You know how my team lays out. I got Russ at the 1, D-Book at the 2, DeMar at the 3,
yep.
Paul George at the 4. I need a center here. I'm going to go Bam.
Yeah.
At that 5 spot.
Yeah, and I'll take BI and put him at the 4. I don't have a problem with that. Him and PG. Like, BI is definitely the worst player on this list, no question about it. But at the same time, he is a very good basketball player when he's actually healthy. And I don't have any issues with him being in this list with these guys. He can definitely play. He can guard PG. PG can struggle to guard him as well. It'll be a good matchup. I'll put him at the 4.
Long length, too.
Yep. All right, let's run through our teams real quick. Go ahead.
I'll run through my starting 5 real quick.
Yep.
Russell Westbrook, Devin Booker, DeMar DeRozan, Paul George, Bam Adebayo. Who's your 5?
Yep. Dame Lillard, James Harden, Jimmy Butler, Brandon Ingram, and then Joel Embiid backing up the 5.
That's a good team, bro.
Yeah, this is a tough matchup. I think we both have really good teams, bro.
You know what?
We're
good GMs, man.
Yeah, we are. All right, y'all tell us in the comments who you think's gonna win.
Let us know. Love to hear that. Hey, Tay, bro, I loved this show.
Yeah.
Good show to take us into the weekend. You got an exciting weekend of WNBA lined up. We'll see what Asia Wilson does. She breaks her record. Same with Caitlin Clark chasing that assist record as well. We know we got NFL stuff around the corner, but you know what? It goes weekend by weekend, Tay. We're getting closer and closer to the NBA season arriving. Hey, quick shout out I want to give to, we're on Hold My Banner. We talk NBA. I want to give a shout out to my guy, Tyler Murray, just announced as the new radio voice for the New York Knicks. I worked with Tyler on the Hockey East Championships. Big game voice, commands, owns the moment, knows how to do it. Grew up a Knicks fan. He was calling Woo Sox games. To make that jump from the Woo Sox to the Knicks with no disrespect to minor league baseball, Tyler Murray is worthy of it. Knicks fans, embrace my boy. You're going to love him. I'm excited to see his growth continue. Big stage for him. I'm excited. So I want to give it Tyler Murray. One of the great all-time dudes I've met, Tay. You'll meet him one day. You're going to love Murray. Congrats to him landing that Knicks radio job, man. That is like one of 10.
Yeah.
There's like, one of 30 in the NBA. Obviously, the teams, that's one of 10 in pro sports to land that.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for him, man.
Yeah, shout out Tyler Murray, but F the Knicks.
Hey, we'll talk Knicks soon enough. I'm George Balekji. He's Ountae Campbell. That's it for Hold My Banner. Have a good one, everyone.